And hello again, this is ModelOmega, and you're watching Chapter 11, my Thracia 776 Let's Play. Got my audio problems fixed, so let's continue barging on. Leaf led his liberation army across the border and into Imperial land at last. However, the impregnable Dandrum fortress towered before them. They must capture the stronghold to clear the way to Tara. I'm telling you, the fort at Noel Canyon was attacked. General Largo is in danger. He needs reinforcements. Please, General Kempf, send our army out to his aid. You say the fort was attacked, but who exactly are the invaders? What was your mission, Olwen? Surveillance, wasn't it? You failed to even identify the enemy, and then you come running back demanding for reinforcements. I think not. We were caught off guard, so we need more men. I decided to come back and report first. But what if this enemy that you speak of is merely a trap to lure us away from our post? The 12th Legion is what makes Dandrum the impregnable fortress that it is. There is no way I will send out troops without even knowing who the enemy is. But what about General Largo? He is out there fighting as we speak. An aged general or two is no big loss to our army. He would have died sometime soon anyway, now I don't have to worry about it. Why, you General Kemp, you call yourself, what's this? Are you talking back to me? Surely you know what happens to those who disobey their commanders. And yet you choose to go against me, What's the matter? Can't back up what you say? Well, you're just a girl fresh out of the academy. I suppose all you can do is go crying to Big Brother Reinhardt. What did you say? Didn't you hear? I said, I suppose all you can do is go crying to Big Brother Reinhardt. You. Don't worry, he'll take good care of you. Why, that man's greatest skill is seducing the ladies. Are you insulting my brother, you? Drawing your sword, are you? What are you going to do, kill me? Stupid bitch. Guards! Throw General Olwen in the dungeon. Her charges are disobedience and turning her blade to her superiors. Yes, sir. General Olwen, please come with me. General Kemp, you vile piece of... Finally I've gotten that annoying little wench taken care of. Now, if she is executed for revolt, then that Reinhardt will lose his position as well. I can't wait to see his face. General Kemp, what is the meaning of this? What's the matter, Fred? Is something wrong? You know what's wrong. What did Lady Olwen do? Punishing the troops for personal reasons goes against military laws. Please release her immediately, or else I will take this matter to Queen Ishtar. Personal reasons? Why, I never. General Olwen drew her blade right here, to kill me. What? No, that can't be. What did our military code say about turning your blade to your superiors? I recall it meant death, or some other severe punishment. So is that your plan, dirty shamer? Anyway, you will have to take responsibility for your commander's misbehavior. I order you to go out and meet the enemy. But this is a punishment. Fight to your death. If you dare retreat, Olwen will die. Understood? Kemp, you shameless bastard. What's that? Can't hear you. Damn, that Kemp is just a vile, vile bastard. Just, wow. This guy, I mean, did you get all of that? I mean, wow. And to be honest, him being in this game is the reason I almost always go the route I'm going to take at the split. Because if you don't go that route, he actually just disappears. You never actually really get to fight him because, well, spoiler alert, once you don't really get to beat him in this chapter because he'll escape the turn after you start attacking him, despite the fact that he's actually a pretty tough cookie and could probably give your entire team a run for their money. And I decided to give Brighton a Knight's proof so he could promote to the Great Knight, which is the promoted form of the Axe Knight. It doesn't give you any extra skills, and its only stat increases are kind of marginal. And you do gain an axe rank, but Brighton already had an A in axes, so it didn't really mean anything. I decided to promote him over other Cavaliers at the moment, or will probably promote, mostly because, well, he's already reached level 20, but also because he has a pretty high sword rank, so his Wrath means that he'll still be useful indoors even if he has to use swords, because at least he can still use good swords. He's not like Finn in this case, where he still has a D rank. What? The enemy is flying the flag of Leinster, and their leader is a boy around 14 or 15? That must be Prince Leif. This could be a chance to get myself a promotion. Okay, I have a plan. Lure the enemy into the eastern corridor. Everyone, portcullis. Make sure the enemy doesn't find out. So, Kempf said that he's going to deploy a plan called portcullis. If you know anything about the age of castles, you'll know that the portcullis is the big, heavy iron gate that helps to protect the front entrance of the castle keep or just a part of the castle. In this case, what portcullis means is that as soon as Leif enters the interior area and Kempf is still active in the area, he will trigger portcullis, which will drop a bunch of gates at the southern corridor inside and the northern one that leads to the interior of this building here. About 3 each. And then 2 ballista will appear where the 2 stairways there are and will start firing at your troops. It's basically meant to trap you while the armors attack you and you get pelted with ballista bolts, but it's pretty easy to get around this if you know what you're doing. I will mention, however, that you do need to trigger portcullis to get to a Gaiden chapter at the end of this chapter. In addition, you also have to make sure Fred survives and that you complete the chapter in 30 turns or less. These are all pretty easy to do. Just make sure you don't attack Kempf before Leif enters the center and you'll trigger portcullis. What I like to do, and I'm surprised the AI actually falls for this, is hang out just by the southern entrance and the armors actually start attacking you, basically making portcullis just getting attacked by ballistas. Also, once Leif enters the center area, Fred no longer becomes an enemy unit and instead an NPC that will try to escape. If you have Leifus with enough build, you can steal a second Thunder Sword off of him, which I totally do in this run. Oh, I just love thieves in this game, just stealing stuff. So, because of this portcullis trap, I would recommend that you bring whatever thieves and door keys you have to make opening the gates that much easier. Anyone that's behind the southern entrance once it's triggered will be stuck there unless you can open the doors, and anyone who's already entered the area will be stuck there until you open the doors. And there's a lot of them, so it can take you a couple turns or so. If you don't have enough keys or lockpicks, I believe there are enough of the armors in the interior area that are actually holding door keys to allow you to gain entrance, but let's be honest, if you're at this point in the game and you don't have enough to get through this part, you might as well just restart your entire playthrough because there's only going to be more doors and more chests for you to open, and you're just going to miss out on so many things. Proper item management is a very important attribute in Thracia 776. Also, something worth noting if you plan on using bow units like I do, the 2 archers that start with the soldiers at the start of this chapter are holding killer bows, so try to steal those if you get the chance. There are a couple things about this chapter that either annoy me or weird me out. First off, this is very similar to Chapter 2X in the sense that the opening part of this chapter is very slow because you have to move single file through all these forests and it's just a pain to get through. But at least this time, you're kind of being harassed by enemies at the same time, so it doesn't feel like a total waste. In addition, I think portcullis would have been a much more kind of dangerous technique if these armors didn't try going after you before you were even done going through the forest. Look at this, they're coming after me now. And then sometimes they'll go inside the fortress, up the stairs, and like all the way around. It's just so weird. Also, one of the armors is holding a poison lance, so be careful about that. He's also holding an antidote, so if you do get poisoned, you can steal that from him and then use it yourself. And I did mention that you needed to keep Fred alive for the Gaiden. Don't bother attacking him, because as soon as Leif enters the center area, he becomes an NPC and will attack enemies for you or leave eventually. Although he doesn't get to do anything in this case because I steal his weapon while he's still a red unit. I don't know if you could steal it while he's green, but I didn't want to take that chance. Actually, something very interesting about Thracia 776, green NPC units can be either friendly or enemy. There are a couple chapters in this game where green NPC units appear and they attack you and you have to attack them back. It's pretty strange, it's something I don't quite understand. It sort of reminds me of Genealogy of the Holy War, where for every set of enemy castles, there was its own army. So you basically had like one player turn and a bunch of enemy turns instead of just one big one that encompassed everyone. Although it was very rare to actually have two different castle armies attacking at the same time. It was mostly one and the others kind of just ended their turns in this case. And Shiva reaches an A rank in swords, which is, well, it's something, I guess. When it comes to, like, swords, axes, lances, and bows, the only A rank weapons are the master weapons. And actually, in axes, the master axe is B rank. There are no A rank axes. It's all very weird. And something you may notice here, Brighton jumps on his horse to the enemy instead of riding. That's something that is the case with all promoted horsemen. It's pretty neat, but dang, those horses can jump really far and surprisingly low in that case. It's pretty nice change. I like how they do that instead of just keep them the same but look different. Can someone please explain or give a valid reason why all these armors are kind of just fidgeting around in there? Did they like have too much sugar or something and they can't just keep still, or they're too excited about the attacks, like, oh, we gotta lure them in and stuff, and man, they go all wacko all the time. It's really weird, and I still don't quite get it. Anyway, in the interest of time, I'm going to speed this next portion up because it's mostly me moving my units into position again. So I'll see you back in a sec. And we're back at normal speed again. I kind of foolishly left Nana in range of this armor. I thought she might have been able to do damage on it, and I had her equip the elite sword. I don't know what I was doing when I was preparing for this chapter. I should really save my uses of the elite sword for a unit I'm going to get later that would really love the ability to have a good sword that gives defense and also doubles your experience gain. It also frees up my ability to use the elite scroll on someone who I'd, well, basically rather have it on in this case. I try to steal a bunch of the long lances from the armors here because they're, well, pretty comparable to steel lances, and as I've shown before, buying weapons in this game is very expensive. I mean, I still can't buy much, and I've done a lot of time in the arena, and I have about 60,000 gold at this point. I was realizing here that I totally forgot to have Brighton hold a hammer to help its armors here. I think I have it on Othin instead, so yeah, I don't know why I was doing that. Brighton is very much more equipped to wield a hammer than Othin in this case, but well, it worked anyway, and I was able to take him out. By the way, an important note when it comes to your mounted units, if you want to have them enter the northern area where the rest of the chapter is, you gotta remember to have them to dismount because mounted units can't come into interior areas. In this case, you'll also want to make sure that your mounted units have swords or bows if they're bow knights, although that's also their primary weapon. Just make sure they have something they can use when they're mounted and when they're unmounted. And just as an FYI, the next chapter, the guide after this, is also an indoor chapter, so don't bring all your dismounted units hoping to use them and then have them in the next chapter. They might get fatigued, and then you might have to go through that chapter with entirely mounted units. and that just wouldn't be very much fun. I get the feeling this will be the last chapter in which I show off Dawson. I'll probably never use him again. He's just not that good. Too many enemies wield hammers for any knight unit to be useful. It's just a darn shame. I mean, he wouldn't be very much good even if there weren't hammers in every single chapter, but yeah, poor guy. He's a good guy, but not a very good unit. Seriously, the AI is doing such a great job of luring me inside. They've exhausted almost every single one of their units, and I still don't have anyone in there. By this point, the only unit that'll be left in there is probably Fred, and I just have to get through here and out of the range of the ballistas. I think that the intent was for the armors to slow you down while you get pelted by bolts, but in this case, they kind of just, well, they splurged early, I guess is how you would describe it, although maybe not that kind of terms. Javelins aren't very good, but they are the only ranged lance except for the Master Lance, so if you're running low in this case like I am, it's probably a good idea to capture one or two, just so you have a ranged option just in case. Those are always useful, even if they're not reliable at all. And there's only these 3 armors to deal with at the moment, so I'm going to speed the rest of this video up until I hit where Portcullis is triggered. So I'll see you back in a bit. The idiots have fallen right into my trap. In America! All right now, get them! Knight of Frege, is this your way of battle? When I fought at Noel Canyon, I was impressed by the honor of the Frege army. Was I wrong? Dirty tactics like this are certainly not what Tordo would approve of. This is all because of that man's, General Kempf's foolishness. I wish to die as an honorable knight, not in a dirty plan like this. If you have no more will to fight, then we won't attack you either. Neither of us have any more strength to spare. Yes, I still have things to do. Very well, let us work together to escape. Okay, we're going to charge the castle, and you can escape to the south. We'll do something about the door. I owe you now. I am Fred, a knight of the Shutai's family. What is your name? Leif, of Leinster. Leinster? I see. Very well, Lord Leif. Let us meet again. Clearly, whoever wrote this translation was having a lot of fun because, yeah, there's no way the game actually had that Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged Series reference because it came out before that was even a thing. So, that was pretty good. When I first encountered that, I laughed for about 5 minutes. I mean, that's just so unexpected. I mean, you're not expecting things like that. You know? That's the sort of thing you would expect now. I mean, so many Nintendo games nowadays reference Reggie's My Body is Ready thing, but to have actual translation writers like this throw stuff like that in, that just brings a smile to my heart. Anyway, you definitely want Fred to survive because the ballista will start to attack him, assuming there isn't a weaker unit on your side too. So just open the bottom 2 doors and he'll escape. And remember that if you want to get to the Gaiden, you do have to complete this chapter in under 30 turns, which is not a huge limit, but just don't take an absolute long time. 30 turns is very manageable. And Given that I kind of want to split this into two roughly 20-minute patches, I'm going to call it quits for this portion of the chapter, and I will see you guys once I have finished the second half of Chapter 11. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want. It would bring a tear to my eye. I will see you guys with the second half. This has been ModelOmega. Thank you for watching.